There are ways to look at performance in absolute terms, and there are ways to look at performance in relative terms. In both, what do you consider good? What's good absolute performance? What's good relative performance?
So again, I have to talk generally, but what Skybridge is delivering is a high single-digit return with very, very low volatility. And so, and we've had a very consistent performance. And we're also, if you look at our book, if you will, we're very interest rate agnostic. In fact, if anything, we benefited from the rising rates. We've positioned the book to take advantage of where we are in the cycle as it relates to the economy. And so it's low beta, interest rate agnostic, but still generating a high single-digit rate of return. And so people that are looking at their bond portfolio, where, you know, maybe the Barclays Ag, I didn't see it this morning, but it's probably down about 200 basis points roughly. If you're looking at a bond portfolio relative to Skybridge, boy, Skybridge looks super attractive.
You prefer to compare Skybridge's performance to the bond index versus the equities index?
Well, let me put it to you this way. I think it's a very big mistake to compare hedge funds, and journalists like to do this for the last 15 years, to the stock market, because we're taking way less risk in the stock market. If you looked at our volatility over the last 24 months has been like a 1.4. Stock market is 3 times that, if you will. So if you're looking for a low volatility return and a high single-digit absolute number, this is a great product for you.
How much did scrapping the deal cost you personally?
In terms of what, like money, you mean?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I don't really look at it. I own 44% of the company. I still own 44% of the company, and so I didn't get the cash slash liquidity event. But in many ways, I don't think it really cost me anything. In fact, if anything, I think my political odyssey cost me a lot, but I gained a lot from my political odyssey. I think I've become more appreciative of the life that I was living prior to my political odyssey.
Why do you think it cost you something? Or what? Let me ask it more directly. What did it cost you?
Well, I think, listen, I mean, at the end of the day, I had a very nice, we still have a great business. I was reasonably well known in the financial punditry world and in our industry, in the hedge fund industry. But I mean, to go from that to the White House communications job and out of the White House in 11 days, there was like a lot of notoriety that came with all of that.
It's a good word, yes.
And there was also a little bit of a characterization of me. You know, people try to two-dimensionalize you and frame you in a certain way, which may or may not be true. And so for me, having experienced that now, it's made me a lot wiser, but it's also made me appreciate where I was and who I really am, which is an entrepreneur and a money manager focused on growing people's money and educating people on the world of finance, as opposed to, you know, I'm not really great at the Washington scene, if you will. Let's just put it that way.
Do you regret it?
No, absolutely not. I think it was one of the best experiences of my life in the sense that it was a great journey. Even though it didn't work out well, entrepreneurs don't regret things. I mean, what they do is they when they get pummeled to the ground like I did, they dust themselves off and they adapt themselves. I mean, there's a great scene, and I'm writing a book, and I talk about my son who's 25. He's about to go to Stanford Business School. It's last summer. He's got his arm around me, and he's asked me, "Dad, are you going to be okay?" And I'm like, not only am I going to be okay, I'm going to show you what entrepreneurs do in a period of distress or a period of a down cycle moment in their lives. And that is, you got to be resilient, you got to be optimistic, and of course, you got to use your sense of humor when things are not going your way.
So you're not going into politics again, by the sounds of it?
No, I mean, I think that I would say, could I help a politician again? Absolutely. Would I be joining an administration or doing something like that? I would say that I think the chances of that are like less than 0.